As a crime reporter, I've covered hundreds of murders, done dozens of ride-alongs, gone undercover on sting operations. I've even been invited to the FBI Academy to see the training that new agents go through. I've walked death row, seeing only a set of eyes staring at me through the small slits. I know their names and I know their crimes. These are the ones who've been caught, and it's those ones that got away that still get me. Now, homicide detectives keep what's called a murder book. This book has everything from the time the murder is first called in through the arrest of a suspect. Sometimes the books remain open, and that means the crime is unsolved. As a crime reporter, I have my own set of murder books, the cases I've covered where no one was brought to justice. Now I'm dusting those books off and reinvestigating these crimes. Join me, Rob Koebel, as I go out seeking justice, the hunt for FBI's most wanted, Robert Fisher. I'm on my way to Hell's Gate Wilderness in northern Arizona. It's a fitting name for one of the most brutal murder cases I've ever covered. This is the spot the alleged killer, Robert Fisher, just seemed to vanish into thin air.
In 600 feet, turn left onto North 45th Street.
It's going to take me about 2 hours from Phoenix to get there.
Continue on Arizona 188 North for 13 miles.
Now, this is interesting because I got a tip that the FBI is back in the area asking questions. I'm assuming that they may have a new lead. The Fisher case is one of Arizona's most notorious unsolved murders. I'll never forget the day it happened. It even shocked me as a veteran crime reporter.
911 emergency. Some house just exploded and ignited on fire.
April 10th, 2001. A quiet Scottsdale neighborhood is rocked to its core.
911 emergency. 911 emergency.
Frantic neighbors flood 911 with calls for help.
911 emergency. Yes, there is still no fire equipment here. Okay, ma'am, we're on our way. There's nothing you can do to make them go faster, okay? We're on our way.
The Fisher family home is a ball of flames.
There are people in there, and this whole house exploded. Okay, I'm telling the officers right now that people are inside the house. All right, bye.
Robert Fisher, his wife Mary, their 2 children, and the family's dog Blue all live here. But as the smoke clears, investigators discover this was no accident.
Mom and the 2 kids found slaughtered in their beds, and the home then rigged like a bomb to cover the killer's tracks.
Missing husband and father Robert Fisher, along with Mary's SUV and the dog.
We've got a person that we're looking for who we still believe to be armed and dangerous.
On the night of the murders, neighbors say they heard the couple fighting. Shortly after the argument, Robert goes to an ATM near their home and takes out $280. A surveillance camera captures pictures of him in a baseball hat, and in the background, you can see Mary's SUV. It's silver. Now a murder suspect, Robert Fisher is a wanted man on the run from the law.
We worked through the creek. We crossed the road that leads into where the vehicle is, suspect vehicle. We crossed that road and are working up the little slope that is on the other side of the road.
10 days later, I'm sitting at my desk in a TV newsroom in Phoenix, Arizona. The family dog and SUV are found, but no sign of Fisher. The station's helicopters flying over the scene, showing live pictures as investigators from all over the state arrive on the scene. I grab a few things off my desk, jump into the nearest news rig with the photographer, and haul ass up there as quick as we can, looking to find this very remote location.
Now his trail has led to the wilderness outside of Young, Arizona. Our Rob Koebel is there with more on what has now become a massive manhunt. Rob.
Well, Frank and Jana, this will really put the skills of the test to Robert Fisher. We've heard so much about his survivor skills.
Now, it's no secret that Fisher is an avid outdoorsman, a hunter, who knows this area very well. He has the upper hand and advantage in this, probably exactly why he picked this area.
This was a spot where it all began 3 days ago. SWAT officers worked slowly, entering more than a dozen caves, checking to see if Fisher may be holed up inside.
Some of the holes are barely big enough for one person. The cave that was our mission is a pretty substantial size cave, at least in length, but it's very limited as far as being able to get into.
After a massive ground, air, and dog search, the state's second largest manhunt, Cops wouldn't get their man.
As of 6 o'clock this evening, we're going to suspend the search based on the fact that we have no further clues.
No further clues. I remember standing there thinking, this is it? I was really just pissed off. I knew he was out there, probably watching us. But now I'm coming back because I have some unfinished business to deal with, and that's finding Fisher.
Turn right.
Highway 288 will take me into near Young, Arizona, and that's where Robert Fisher disappeared. It's also where we're going to meet one of our guides to get us in there. Like I said, it's really dangerous, and you got to be careful.
Hey Rob, this is David Klingbeil up here around Young, Arizona. I was kind of emailing back and forth. I wanted to kind of talk to you a little bit about what you're looking at doing if you wanted to get into the extensive network of that cave, like on the inside. I'd need to know height and weight and a bunch of stuff like that. Definitely love to try to make this work. Feel free to give me a call back.
I called David back to set up a time we could meet. Then I took the Greyhound bus from Los Angeles to Phoenix and rented a car.
Let's see, I just lost any kind of service. And it says that it should be here, and there's two different forks on these dirt roads. There's one that says entering private land, and I'm not sure if that's where the ranch is or not. I'm about 19 miles from Young, Arizona, but I'm going to try heading down. Oh, wait a second, looks like maybe this is it. Okay, wait a second. Well, we're going to find out one way or the other. This is either going to be really good or really bad. What does it say there? Holy cow. I don't know if this is it. And people value their privacy back here. It's one of the reasons Robert Fisher, I'm sure, decided it was a great idea to come out here. Oh my God, there's animals. That's it. I'm hoping you're David.
I meet David, my guide. Now he knows this area like the back of his hand and gives me a quick tour.
This is the Rocky Necks Ranch. We're basically in the middle of nowhere, completely off grid. Gravel road leading here, as you have found out. Very steep roads, no guardrails, kind of keeps people away. And it's a quiet place. We have plenty of animals and family. I've raised my family here for the last 15 years. We got fortunate to come upon this place.
The ranch has a cabin that I rented. I'll use it as a base camp and a place to sleep while I'm working this case. We're headed off into Young first, or where do you think's the best?
Yeah, we'll head into Young and then pass through Young. I think we should hit the caves up at a decent time. I just brought the drone for some aerial footage, just to give you an idea of how large that land is, and then some flashlights. Maybe we'll go for a little spelunk in the cave and see what we find. Get an idea what it looks like in there.
We're at a fork in the road. Do I go right?
Yeah, take a right.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
So it'll be partially paved, partially gravel. Pretty much no man's land.
"19 miles later, I'm back where it all ended.
There's 100 little caves up here that you could crawl in and just die in, to be honest. But there's only a few that go on forever.
I'm standing at the entrance to Cave 41. This is the cave investigators searched years ago looking for Fisher. It's nothing more than a small hole in the ground. David sees me coming closer and immediately warns me to be very, very careful where I'm stepping.
Don't come in here. This whole thing could collapse and suck me in. I see I'm on durable rock. You got to kind of read the rock when you come into these sinkholes. There's these big exposed little chunks of limestone. You actually look for the limestone. The dirt and the roots, don't trust those. I could fall 60 feet into a pit and die. Really easy. Just again, to show you how dangerous these places are. Super duper.
Is this the cave Fisher made his escape from, or did he go down there to take his own life? If so, where's the body? Maybe a gun? I'm here to find out. Where does this cave go? Coming up on the next episode of Seeking Justice, does one man hold the secret to where Robert Fisher is?
Yeah, I've never seen that little guy ever again, and never seen that ranch hand kid ever again either.
He claims to have buried Robert Fisher, his friend.
Yeah, his friend.
Seeking Justice, The Hunt for the FBI's Most Wanted Robert Fisher is a Back to One Entertainment production hosted and produced by Rob Koebel, edited and produced by J.J. Geiger. This podcast was recorded under a SAG-AFTRA collective bargaining agreement. All rights are reserved.